Welcome to another Star Wars month video. Um, this should be really. I don't know when I'll release this. If I'll release it on May the 4th or because I already released a video, but I will release this sometime during May, probably sometime during next day or two after May the 4th. But anyway, so today I wanted to talk about. So I have a couple videos. I've had a couple videos talking about Anakin's fall and who's responsible, who's not. Today I want to talk about it and just how tragic it was. So yes, Anakin's fall to becoming Darth Vader was a very tragic thing to happen. You know, and there's a couple reasons why it's tragic, y'all. The first and most obvious is it was tragic because it could have been avoided. You know, whether by Anakin himself, just taking some Jedi teachings to heart, or what the Jedi teachings should have been to heart, and saying, "Hey, I'm going to learn to let go of attachments. I'm going to learn to let go of this fear that I have of losing people that I'm close to." That's one way it could have been avoided, is Anakin himself making a decision not to fall to the dark side. The other way it could have been avoided is if Palpatine never really rose to power. You know, if Palpatine, say the Naboo invasion didn't work as planned, the Clone Wars didn't work as planned. Some other variable comes in where Palpatine is taken out of the picture, and sorry, I'm getting distracted by cats. And he is not there to manipulate Anakin for around 15 years in total, I'd say. Well, he never really stops manipulating him after he gets to the dark side. So probably around, it's getting to around 30 years by the time Anakin passes away, or both of them pass away. Anyway, so yes, Anakin making different decisions, Palpatine making different decisions that would remove him picture, and somebody making different decisions that would remove Palpatine from being able to manipulate Anakin. The Jedi making different decisions. So in those other two videos I talked about where I blame the Jedi Order, I'm not blaming the entire Jedi Order. I think people like Ahsoka, like Obi-Wan, like Yoda were trying to do their best for Anakin. The main failure of the Jedi Order in regards to Anakin is their failure to understand him. So, most of the Jedi failed to understand Anakin, who he was as a person, who he was growing up to be as a person. So, it's a simultaneous thing of they're not necessarily directly responsible, but they're also, come on, you guys, you said things to him that helped push him to turn to the dark side. Chief among them, Mace Windu. As much as I love Samuel L. Jackson, the actor, as much as I love seeing Mace Windu in the majority of his scenes, most of his interactions with Anakin are primarily negative. He shows a lack of trust in Anakin. He shows something of akin to jealousy of Anakin. So yes, if the Jedi had made an effort to understand Anakin, or most of them have made an effort to to make some basic understanding of Anakin, Hey, hey, yeah, cat's doing something he shouldn't. Hey, hey, I see you. Sorry if that was right next to the mic, guys. The cat was doing something he shouldn't, as I said before. But anyway, yeah, that's basically what it is. It's people making a series of decisions. Anakin, Palpatine, the Senate allowing Palpatine power, um, Anakin allowing Palpatine to manipulate him, even though there were signs that Anakin could have seen. The Jedi not understanding Anakin and making decisions that didn't do him any favors, and a bunch of other things that just so happened. All in all, y'all, it could have been avoided. Um, and that's what makes it. That's one of the reasons that makes it so tragic, is that this could have been avoided had certain people made certain decisions. Um, the other reason it's tragic is because there was reasons for Anakin to remain in the light. So I mentioned Anakin making different decisions of staying in the light, and he could have stayed in the light, but there were several chances where he just had to stay, where he just could have stayed in the light, or he could have turned to the light much earlier. And there's plenty of what ifs out there saying, "Oh, what if Anakin never turned in the first place? What if he turned back sooner?" Um, there's plenty of what ifs out there among Star Wars, the Star Wars fandom. So yes, Anakin himself could have stayed in the light or turned to the light. He also could have become what is known as a Grey Jedi, which is basically someone who seeks balance and or someone who performs balance. So, it's one of these things that ultimately I think the tragedy of Anakin's life, the tragedy of Darth Vader, is a tragedy that could have been avoided if people had made different decisions. If Anakin himself had made different decisions. Anyway, that's where I'll leave it off for y'all. Uh, have a good. I hope you had a good May the 4th. I hope you have a good rest of the. There's some other days that Star Wars fans have fun with here in the next week or so. I will see y'all in the next video.